watching. It will just be recording me, not you, so do not worry. Let's just let Paula in as well, and then we get going. So have your strap with you, or your band, whatever it is you're using. Good morning, Paula. Strap required, my darling, as you logged in, just to catch you. Good morning. So grab a band or a strap and let's come and have a stand. No need for balls today, Barbara. No, you can stick that away. That's absolutely fine, love. So grabbing hold of it, we want to just shift some focus. And because it's Monday, we're not going in all guns blazing just yet. We're just thinking about breathing, getting that breath going. So when we're running around 9 to the dozen, the breath is often up here. And it works, and we do what we need to get done, and it's fine, but we could do with getting it down a little bit deeper, because the more air that you can get in and the more action through your diaphragm and the more air generally circling through your body, the more efficient your body can become. Also the stimulation of your parasympathetic nervous system, which means it's more relaxing, which is always a good thing. So we're going to take the band, if you can be a belt, can be a dressing gown cord, can be whatever you want, and we're just going to take it round behind us, and we want it ribs, around your ribs. So waist isn't going to work, up a little bit higher around your ribs. And then just loop it round, sort of bottom of your bra strap, I guess. You can say that, we've got no gents present. And we're just going to hold onto either end. And you can let the arms relax down, or you can keep them up to chest height, whatever you want to do. And feet happy, comfortable, hip distance apart, wherever you want them to be. Just rolling your shoulders back and down, standing nice and tall. As you breathe in through your nose, see if you can feel your strap get tighter. And then as you breathe out through your mouth, relax. See if you can drop your shoulders another ½ centimetre. And then breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through the mouth. So if you've got it out here, it's not going to feel the same. You need that cross across your chest so that you can feel it. So we've come across, so you're wrapped around. As you're breathing in, you're feeling your ribs expand out to the side and out to the front and out behind you. And breathe out. And this may seem daft. You might find, oh, I feel like my right hand side opens more than the left. See if you can shift focus and see if you can get your left hand side to open a bit more. Do you find that the upper part of your ribs opens more than the lower? Do you find that you open more in the front than the back? Every time you breathe in through your nose, can you top it up a little bit more? So deep breath in, snatch a little breath, snatch another little one, and then a deep exhale. Just do one more. Snatch a bit more, top it up a bit more, and then exhale. And we'll all be really, really dizzy with all that deep breathing. Wonderful. So relax and take your band out of the way and just let the ribs go down. So the other thing we want to do is see how far we have movement. This is a sticky part of our body, our midsection. The hips, the pelvis and the shoulders, they work beautifully. Lots of movement. This bit like no man's land, bit like a plank. So with your hands rested onto your hips, keeping your hips nice and still, see if you can glide your ribs. So we're not trying to bend like we're pouring out a teapot. We're trying to just move on the same level, side to side. So feel a bit like Jenga, you know the game, and you're pushing the little blocks of wood out. Your ribs have become one of those blocks of wood, and somebody is just gently poking them and bringing them back in. It's a plane of movement that our spine doesn't do very often, so try and avoid that tilt. It's a glide. Hips stay steady, glide. See, I do not glide that way. Creak. This way, yeah, we're all fine. And it might be that that's your dominant side, the one that you like to lean on. So the other way, give it a little bit of work. See if you can encourage a bit more movement. And then come into the center. Beautiful. Relax the arms, roll the shoulders, take everything back and down. So let's wake up the rest of the body and get some more tummy action, because that's really what we're focusing on this week, is getting strength through here to protect here and help with all the other good stuff. So with your arms reaching above your head, don't worry if you can't see my fingertips, take them wider than your shoulders so that you can really drop your shoulders down away from your ears. And feel as if you have got a great big basket between your hands. And keep pressing the palms inwards towards one another with that distance between them. So you feel active through your arms and not just plonked there. Breathe out and carry your basket over to one side. Now try and reach to store it in the back shelf. Stretch the arms further. Come back through into the center and go over to the other side. So take a big deep bend and then reach the arms longer. Come back into the center, don't hold your breath. And then let's go over. Reach as far as you can and then extend the arms. Keep breathing into the center. Exhale as you go over. Catch your breath and then exhale to stretch the fingertips. And then come back in. Arms come into the center and relax them all the way down. Shoulders draw to the ears and everything rolls back and down. So in doing this to find stability, my feet become a bit wider. Let yours do the same if that feels good. Take your hands and interlace them behind your back. So you're stretching them away from your bottom, feeling that lovely opening out through the chest. And from here, we're going to start to hinge at our hips and fold forwards. When we get as far as we can forwards, we're just going to take the body over to the left-hand side. Come back into the center, over to the right-hand side, to the center, and then hinge to bring yourselves all the way back up. Fabulous. And then release the arms all the way down. So we're going to bring ourselves down into a seated position so that we are firing up some more tummy work. Come and make yourselves comfortable on the mat. Good. So, knees are bent, feet are planted to begin with. If you find that it's too pinchy at the top of your hips and thighs, shuffle the feet further away, that's fine. Not crucial to have your big toes in the ground. It's preferable, but it's not essential. Your comfort is more important here, and the positioning of your spine. So we're going to have the arms reaching out in front. We're long as we can through the back, the chin is tucked in, and we're going to breathe out and just tuck the chin and round the back. So instead of our standing roll downs, we're doing seated ones. And we're going to breathe in and come back up. If it is a bit Monday-ish and you need some assistance with the hands behind the thighs, that's always an option. Breathing out as you look to your belly button and round the back. Breathing in to sit nice and tall. And breathing out. Chin tucks to the chest, we round the back. And then coming back up. Just two more. Breathe out. Round the back, look at the belly button. Breathe in to sit tall, last one. Breathing out, chin tucking, curling the back, trying to find some movement into the middle and the lower part. And then up we sit. Fold forwards, hug onto your shins. Just let your nose come to your knees. And then bring the body all the way back up. So, tall seated position. Arms stretching out in front, taking a little hinge back, and it's small because what we layer up on top will make it all the more powerful. Little hip distance gap between your feet and your knees, tummy switched on. We could hang out here all day, hopefully. We're not that far back that it's horrendous yet. So as we breathe out, we're going to open the arms. We inhale, the arms reach forward, nothing else changes, just the arms. Exhale and open. Inhale towards the front. Exhale, open. Inhale towards the front. So every time you're breathing in and out, revisit that work with the strap. Feel that breath out, tightening your ribs in towards one another. And then as you're breathing in, you're thinking about the rib cage expanding, front, back, sides, everything working. Good. 3. And in. 2 and in. Last one. As the arms come to the front, sit tall, fold forwards to hug the knees. And then up we come. So, still with that little tiny hinge, just enough to wake the tummy up. This time, we're going to take one arm out to the side and the other above our head. Bring them back to the center as we breathe in. Breathe out, one out, one up. Breathe in to return. One out, one up. And inhale to the front. Exhale, one out, one up. Inhale to the center. Keep going. So every time you're stretching your arms, where are the positions of your shoulders? If they are smothering your lovely ears, you won't be able to hear me wittering on. Oh, poor things. So keep the shoulders down away from the ears. Feel like you are growing longer through the back of your head and your neck every time you stretch your fingertips away. Anyone else feel like their feet want to take off the floor? Maybe they want to float. That's because we're working strongly. Let's do one more each side. And then let's sit tall. Fold yourselves forwards. Take a little curled ball and hug your knees. And then bring the body all the way back up. Fabulous. So let your legs lengthen out in front of you, still with a little gap. If you know that this is your nemesis and you hate it and you still need a bend in the knees, or you want to sit on a block, absolutely fine. Make a little adjustment. You can sit on a cushion, folded up towel, not a problem. We just want to open out that gap between the legs and the body so that the hip flexors calm down a little tiny bit. The arms are going to reach out in front. We're into that tiny hinge once more, and this time we're going to rotate. So we're working into the sides of the waist. So as if we've got a smaller version of our basket in front of us now, breathing out to turn to one side, deliver it, and then breathe into the center, and breathe out, deliver it to the other side. Breathe into the center, breathe out to turn. Good. So just enough of a tiny lean back that the tummy is working, and that when we turn to the side, we are really well aware of it. Breathe out and twist. Breathe into the center. If you know that you get dizzy with lots of head turning, leave the head in the center and just float the arms and the shoulders. Good. This time as we come across, we're going to risk dropping the basket by bringing one arm down to the ground. Bring it back. Carry through to the other side, lower arm touches the floor and then comes back. So we travel through the center, over to the side, lower arm touches the ground. Carry the basket across to the other side and tap the floor. Into the center and across, tap down. Come back, last one each way. Nearly there. Are you still lifted through your chest and shoulders? Of course. Sit tall. And then let's fold and reach towards the toes. Letting yourselves lengthen out, folding down. And then up we come. Bring the body up nice and tall. Lovely. So we want to just keep the focus on our tummy muscles. Shuffle yourselves down your mat so that you've got plenty of space behind you. And the beauty of this is that we have backup. We've always got the help of the backs of our thighs. If we get a little bit stuck and the tummy starts to fatigue, we have this helping hand, literally. So we're going to take it slow and steady, rolling bit by bit down to the ground and coming back up again. If at any point you want to help by pulling yourselves up, that's fine. So let's try and see how far we go hands-free. We're going to roll down just until our waistband or thereabouts. So on the breath out, tuck your chin to your chest, make yourselves into a little ball. See if you can get pretty much to waistband. Depends if you've got Simon Cowell trousers on today or not. Breathe in and rise up. Again, if you needed the hands to help, that's fine. Sit tall, find your bony bits of your bottom, and then let's go again a little bit further now. Middle of your lower back. Inhale, exhale as you round and come up. Inhale at the top. Exhale to tuck the chin and round. Bit further now, aim for your shoulder blades. Good. Inhale, exhale to round and come up. Use the hands if you need to. Beautiful. Sit tall. And we're going to go right the way down and right the way up. So the back of the head will make contact now all the way to the floor. And then we inhale, exhale, tuck the chin, round the back, and up we go. Beautiful. Sit nice and tall. Hug into your knees. So from here, we're going to take hold of our left leg. hang on behind the thigh. And we're going to bring that leg with us as we round and lower ourselves all the way to the floor. Down we come. And when we're nice and comfortable, we can then extend that right leg away. Toes pointed, right leg active, not fast asleep, left leg drawn in towards us. And we're going to just change the hand position. So instead of hanging on behind the thigh, we're going to put both hands on the front of the thigh, fairly high towards that knee. And we want to make a little bit of resistance with this leg. So it's a pulling in movement with the knee and a pushing away movement with both hands. Head can completely stay on the floor if you want to look after your neck. If you want to work a little bit harder and lift the head, absolutely fine to do so. So we're going to go with 5 breaths here. Nice inhale to prepare. As we exhale, both hands press against the leg and the knee draws in towards you and we hit stalemate. If the head is coming off the ground, lovely. Breathe in to relax. So you've got one hand on top of the other, pushing against that leg, trying to press it away from you. You don't want to see it anymore, but the leg fights back. So we push with the hands and we pull in with the knee and the head is up or down. It's up to you. Good. Relax as you breathe it in. On the exhale, make the effort. Press with the hands, draw in with the knee. And inhale to release. We've got 2 to go. Exhale, press with the hands, draw in with the knee, and then relax. Last one. Exhale, knee in, hands away, and then relax. Take hold of the shin if you can, or behind the thigh if that's better, and just bring that knee in. So we're isolating one side of the tummy muscles. They still work as a squadron. They are a team effort, but we are just taking some focus onto that particular side, trying to strengthen and isolate it a little bit. So left leg runs away, right leg draws in towards you. We repeat the whole thing on the other side. Left leg is toes pointed, nice and active onto the floor, and both hands sit at the top of your right leg. So remember, we are pushing away with the hands, pulling in with the knee, and we're meeting somewhere in the middle. Head can stay on the floor if you need to. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, make the effort with the hands, press away. And then inhale to lower. Exhale, make the effort. Chin can tuck and head can lift if you want. Good. Inhale, rest. 3 to go. Exhale, press and draw in with the knee. And release. 2 to go. Exhale, press, draw in with the knee, and release. Last one. Press hard, hard, hard. Knee comes in, and then relax. And bring the foot to the floor, and let the arms come down. Bend both knees and draw them in towards you. If you need to bring the shins across the chest, or bring the knees into your nose, do whatever you need to do. Lovely stuff. And let's allow the feet to come down to the floor. Beautiful. So shifting our focus a little bit further up the body, thinking about the upper part of the abdominals, still concentrating on your breath. And ultimately, if we get tangled with the breath in a complicated movement, as long as you are not holding it, you're doing it right. No turning blue is our motto, really. Hands are going to interlace behind the back of the head. See if you can keep the elbows nice and wide. So when you're rested down on the ground, the elbows should be able to touch the floor either side of you. And we want to keep that sensation of a nice open chest as we do the exercise. So we're going to tuck the chin and use the tummy muscles to bring ourselves up off the floor with lovely wide elbows, head, neck and shoulders peeling off the ground. So we are already engaging the tummy muscles. And we're going to stay lifted here and reach the right hand to the outside of the left leg. Come back in with the hand, body into the center, do the same on the other side. Breathe out and rotate. Breathe in, hand behind the head, body into the center. Breathe out, turn the other way. Good. Keep alternating sides. Keep going. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Stay here, stay lifted. Take your legs to tabletop. Good. And then extend both legs to the ceiling. And we're staying in this chin tucked position, and we're going to now reach to the outside of the ankle. We're going higher, opposite sides. So right hand to the outside of the left ankle, and then come back in and reach. So we now have an up rather than a twist. There's a little rotation, but think reach. Try and hit that ankle bone. It helps if you're blessed with arms of an orangutan, but who knows, you may be able to lengthen them by the end of the session. Let's see how we go. If you start to find that the head needs to rest to the ground, you can still do this. You can still get your rotation. Don't force it if the neck is saying no. 4, 3, 2, and 1. And let's bend the knees and land the feet and relax the head all the way down. Beautiful. So in isolation, these are nice and simple. When we tie them all together, maybe not so, which is lovely. Let's bring the legs into their tabletop position. Taking your hands down to the ground, either side of your bottom. This time, take your palms to press into the floor. And if you do test it out and push the palms into the ground, notice what happens with your shoulders. They love to leave. It's a bit like a seesaw. Once the hands make contact, the shoulders lift. And when you push the shoulders down, the hands get lighter. It's a bit annoying. See if you can level out your seesaw. It might mean a bit less pressure into the hands, but see if you can push shoulder, elbow, and hand fully into the ground. And see what that does towards the ribs and the chest. It really feels like it fires it all up, wakes it up. So from here, make contact, press the palms, the elbows, the shoulders into the floor, and see if you can bring your knees into your chest. Good. Breathe in to relax, back to tabletop, relax the arms. Breathe out, press hard with the hands, the knees come in, and we want to exaggerate that movement. See if we can get the tailbone to come just off the floor. That would be the goal. So as you breathe out, press hard with the hands. Keep the heels close towards the bottom. Try not to swing the legs too much. Make this deep tummy muscles, and you will soon discover triceps get involved. They help to control that curl in and the return back to your normal tabletop position. Good. So we press for effort into the floor. Knees come in, bottom peels off the mat. Breathe into the center. Let's just do 2 more. Breathe out. Engage the arms, knees draw in. We're turning to tabletop. Try and maintain that 90-degree bend. Good. And then we're back to where we were. Relax the arms. Nobody needs to brush their hair for a couple of days, I hope. Plant your feet to the floor. Let your knees rock from side to side. And let's see how we go. So, taking a little bit of movement into our backs of our body. So this isn't just a journey into the tummy muscles. They wrap around. They are like a lovely big blanket all around our midsection. So it's worthwhile getting into hamstrings, bottom muscles, and then therefore your back to help everything out. So with the arms relaxed and now the palms turned to the ceiling, so the shoulder blades are happier into the floor. Keep your feet close into the bottom, heels and toes hip distance apart. Breathing out to tilt your hips and soften your back into the ground. Squeeze your bottom muscles and lift into your little bridge as far as you are happy to go. Doesn't have to be at the ceiling, it's where you can comfortably reach. Taking your time to slowly roll the hips all the way back down. Inhaling as you land when you reach neutral. Exhaling to tilt the hips, soften the back through imprinted spine, bottom peeling up off the ground. Good, not letting the knees flare as you get to the top. Good. So this is all nice and simple. So if we take the balance of our upper body out by crossing the arms across the chest, let's see how we feel. Tilt the hips, squeeze the bottom muscles, heels are still close in towards you. Be aware, I don't know about you, but I caterpillar my way along the mat when I do this. And halfway through, I suddenly think, hang on a minute, my heels are 4 miles away from my bottom. So every time you land, have a quick check. Have they wriggled away? Are you in the same place? So we're a bit less stable now as we lift and lower. And on the next one, we want to stay in a lifted position and think about some movement for our upper body. So hips are off the ground, bottoms are working, thighs and hamstrings are working. Arms are now going to stretch towards the ceiling. And a bit like we did before, holding our basket, we have another one. We've got stacks of them. We're going to take that basket to one side. So we're going to find one shoulder lifts off the ground. Brilliant balance for a Monday. Breathe into the center, both shoulders into the floor. Breathe out over to the other side. Beautiful. Breathe out and turn. Breathe into the center. Breathe out to turn. Into the center. Let's do one more each side. Keep squeezing those bottom muscles. Try not to let the hips drop. Good. And then as you come into the middle, roll the hips down, 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 and draw the knees into the chest. Give them a hug. Fabulous. So with everything all singing and dancing, we're going to take ourselves through a little series for the tummy muscles. We want to make sure that we've got some space above us to reach the hands overhead and space to reach the legs out. So if you need to have a shuffle on your mat, now's the time to do it. If you're thinking, good grief, my neck's had enough today, don't want to lift my head anymore, good news is you can leave the head on the ground for all of these. So I will do the first couple with my head on the floor to show you what it looks like, and then we can go into the head lifted if you want to do it. But at any point you need to lower the head, that is absolutely fine. Don't persevere if you find that it's uncomfortable. It may be that we just need a tiny tweak in your positioning to make things feel a bit better. So we're going to take ourselves into a lovely big bit of rotation for the upper body. Try and keep that breath going. That is the key. So we start with the legs in tabletop. And we're going to keep the head on the ground for the first couple. So the hands reach to either side of the legs. They're just about past your knees. We're aiming for shins, but you know, they're quite far away. So we're going to take a nice deep breath in. As we breathe out, we're going to reach the arms up and over the head and then inhale them back to the outsides of the legs. So the legs are staying still for the moment. Those of you that know what's coming, you're already there. Hold your horses. So we're going to breathe in, and then as we exhale, the arms go overhead and round. If you want to lift the head, you can do so. We sweep and we come back round. Good. So we're going to go for 5. Let's see how we get on. Sweep. And 4. Sweep. Remember, you can lower the head at any time if you need to. 2. If the head is lifted, it stays lifted the whole way through. Good. Take a pause. Let's rest there for a second. So, as many of you got all excited and spotted that it was coming, we're going to add the extension of the legs. So this time, head down version is legs extend, arms extend, and round we go. See, exactly as before, head can stay on the floor, or we lift and we stay lifted. Good. So let's go for 5. Inhale back. Exhale 4. Inhale back. Exhale 3. Keep your lower back pressing onto the ground. If the head is lifted, keep the shoulder blades lifted too. Final 1. And down we go. Head rests down, knees come in, and catch your breath. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Good. Tummies are really waking up. So let's take a tiny stretch for our hamstrings before we go into the next one. Keeping one leg drawn in towards you, doesn't matter which you pick. Leave the other one rested down to the ground. With that leg lengthened, pointing and flexing through the foot. And then tucking your chin, breathing out, walking the hands up, 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 up. And then walking them back down to lower the head, sending your leg away along the floor as you go again. So your supporting leg is really stretched out. And we tuck the chin and walk the hands up, bringing the leg as close in towards us as we can. And then down we go. Swap legs. So we bring it in, we send it up and wiggle the foot. And then when we feel ready, we tuck the chin and walk the hands, mindful of the back of the knee, just because the leg doesn't necessarily always like to be pulled in that direction. And then down we go. Supporting leg straightens out, stretching away from you. And then let's tuck the chin. Walk the hands up, up, up. Bringing the leg in. And then down we go. And travel down. Bending both knees, planting the feet to the floor. So we're going to take the legs through tabletop and up to the ceiling. Pressing the lower back gently into the ground if we still have hamstrings of doom, because let's be honest, a little stretch won't make a lot of difference. If you need a little bend, that's fine, but if you can keep them straight, 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 give it your best shot. Hands will interlace behind the back of the head. Elbows nice and wide, chin tucking, head peeling up off the ground, and now letting the weight of the head sit nice and heavy in the hands. So from here, we're going to breathe out and point the left foot, taking the left foot down towards the ground as far as we can. Let it hover just off the mat. And then flex the foot, bring it up. Do the same with the right leg, toes point, right leg lowers. Right foot flexes and up it comes. As before, if you need to let the head lower to the floor, absolutely fine. Toes point and down we go. Foot flexes and lifting back up. If you find that towards the mat is a step too far, guess what? There's an alternative. You can go halfway down or less. Go to where you can manage to maintain your back position. If the head is off the ground, where are your shoulders? See if you can keep the shoulder blades lifted. Tummy muscles working. Let's go with one more on each side. Have we remembered to breathe? A lot to think about this morning. And then bring the knees in. Catch your breath and relax all the way down. Fabulous. Well done. So we're going to take ourselves over onto one side, just for a little change of scene. Have a little roll over. We'd ideally like to be propped up so that we can work a little bit through the sides of the waist and get some movement in this upper body. Let the legs have a rest for a moment. So feet can be side by side, especially if you find that you clunk your ankle bones together. If you want them to be just both pressing down onto the mat, that's totally fine. If you're comfy with them stacked one on top of the other, absolutely fine. Knees on top. Elbow drawn underneath your shoulder. And we're not here forever, so even if your shoulder is giving you some grief, see if you can tolerate it just for a little bit. Lots of room between you and the mat. And what we're going to try and do is see if we can get our bottom to come off the ground. Here's hoping. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, push into that bottom knee, push into the bottom arm, and take a lift. Slow and steady. Lower back down, almost full weight on the mat. Change your mind, up you go. So we get sort of 3/4 of the way down. It feels oh so nice, it's tempting. And up we go. We've got 3 left. Dip down. And take a lift. And 2. And take a lift. Last one, keep pressing into that bottom knee. And then let yourself sink all the way down. Beautiful stuff. Extend your top leg. Extend your upper arm. Take a nice big stretch. And then let's see if we can get ourselves up off the ground. That shoulder's probably going to sleep. Give yourselves a push up and change over to the other side. It's very, very short and sweet on our sides. So as before, knees are stacked. Feet can be staggered if they want to, or they can be one on top of the other. Elbow is underneath the shoulder. And thinking about lots and lots of space here. So that bottom knee and the forearm are what's going to press into the ground and give us that lift. So deep breath in, ready yourselves. Breathing out and lift. We start that really controlled, lower, lower, lower. Change your mind, up you go. Dip down and lift. Good. 3. Up we go. 2. And lift. Last one. And then we come all the way down, and it feels so nice. And we extend the top leg. And we reach the upper arm all the way over. And then up we come. Beautiful. So we're going to come over onto our fronts, but we're staying lifted. So see if you can find a position that is bearable for you on your forearms. Now we are all different. Personally, my lower spine does not love this at all, so I have to make it quite a small angle. And I take my arms a bit wider, and I take them a bit further forwards until we go, oh yeah, that'll do. We could hang out here, that's fine. So you want to be lifted through your chest. But if you find that somewhere here is giving your back some grief, lower it down, go wider, go further forwards, find what works for you. And see if you can, like you would do for imprinting your back. Currently, we've got a good banana shape in our lower spine. See if you can gently tilt your hips. Can you think of almost pressing your hip bones more into the floor, creating some length through the lower back? That will wake up your tummy muscles here. Almost picturing a drawing pin under your belly button. So not sucking your breath in, but gently tilting your hips and pelvis to draw your tummy a little bit more away from the floor. Legs are relaxed, toes are relaxed, bottom is trying its hardest to be relaxed, but who knows. So from here, in this lifted position, are we up from our shoulders, or have we collapsed into them? Push your forearms into the floor, lift and lengthen through your chest and shoulders, and see if you can extend one arm out along the floor. Does that hand come off the floor? Maybe. And then bring it back in. It can do it for a hair's whisker. That's absolutely fine. So stretch it out and lift in and rest. Beautiful. Stretch, lift in and plant it again. One side feels significantly worse than the other. One side feels like you're bracing with the whole of your body, and the other one you could do all day. Yeah, it's just how we're set up. This time, as you take that finger forwards or the hand forwards, it's going to come off the ground, move out to the side, in, down, and bend. Another step. So we go forwards, up, out, in, back down, and catch our breath. Now you know you can do one on each side and have a sleep, and I will not tell you off. You just give it a shot. Beautiful. Let's try with one more on each side. And then we get to have a little relax. Wonderful stuff. So let's take the elbows wide and make your hands your cradle for your head, or if you prefer to use a cushion, that's fine. Bring your toes inwards to touch and let your heels fall out to the sides. Let your head rest down. If you are modifying for dizzy reasons, that is absolutely fine. Do whatever you can cope with. And from here, just think about the shoulder positioning. Start to breathe out and press into the hands, tucking your chin to lengthen through the back of the head and the neck. See if you can bring your head off the floor. Slow and steady, roll yourselves back down. We're seeing if we can just make this tiny lift and lower without squeezing our bottoms. So it feels like not a lot is happening. It's one of those delicious Pilates exercises that you only really feel 4 days later. We want just a tiny, tiny lift and lower. movement through the back. Good. So this is a good position to be in, to think about your pelvic floor. I told you it's going to sneak in. So as we breathe out, our pelvic floor should be connecting. And as we breathe in, it should be relaxing. And we want to try and get used to doing that in every different position. So the sensation of drawing your pelvic floor up is like you have a ribbon on the bottom of your spine, right into your coccyx, right on the very tip of your tailbone. And that ribbon wraps through to the front of you, right up onto your pubic bone. So as you exhale, the ribbon goes from back towards the front, pulling tighter. And then as you relax, it all unravels and releases. So as you breathe out, tighten the pelvic floor from back to front. And then inhale, let it relax. And see if you can hold that connection of the pelvic floor for as long as your out breath lasts. And then as you breathe in, it gets to relax. Last one of these before you'll go too dizzy. And then coming all the way down. So tucking your toes underneath your feet, if that makes sense, and bringing your hands down to the shoulders. We're going to come up just onto all fours so we can stretch. Those of you who know that your lower back gets a little stiff, we just need to iron this out. So you can be on your fists, you can be on your forearms, you don't have to be flat palms here. This is just to stretch the back. So we want to gently let the head dangle down. Start to tuck the tailbone under as we round the back up to the ceiling. And then lengthen, taking our gaze past our fingertips just to the front edge of the mat. Breathing out, letting the head drop, tucking the chin, rounding the back. And then lengthening. One more time. Head dangles down, tucking the tailbone. Then coming back. Taking your knees a little wider, pushing the hips back onto your bottom. No, your hips are attached to your bottom. Bottom onto your heels. Oh, you can tell it's Monday, can't you? Do that backwards thing. Bottom onto your heels. It's a good job you all know what's coming. I could just say gobbledygook and you just all do your own class, wouldn't you? Sink down. If your head feels happy on the mat, that's great. If the arms prefer to be holding your ankles, do whatever feels comfortable here. Just creating a little bit of movement. And then let's bring ourselves back up into your seated position. Come and get comfy. So, finding a position that works for you seated. It doesn't have to be cross-legged. Just coming back to where the breath is at, where everything's going. So, from here, shoulders drawing all the way back and down. Rib cage is happy, it's settled. We're not flared and arched, we're not slumped in. It's just completely normal. As you breathe in, thinking about expanding it front and back and out to each side. And then as you exhale, dropping your shoulders even more, feeling almost like you compress your ribs down, sinking down, a bit like an accordion. Breathing in, fill up and fill up and fill up. And then exhale, sink down, shoulders go heavy. Feel the ribs just gently drift down. One more time, deep breath in, front and back, out to the sides, shoulders heavy. And this time, as you breathe out, slowly let the chin come down to the chest. And then roll the neck with the chin going to one shoulder. Taking it down to the bottom. And then over to the other side. All the way down. And then bringing the head back up into the center. And just shrugging the shoulders to your ears. And rolling everything back and down. Fabulous. Well done, Monday team. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I will let you all get on with the rest of your day. Thankfully, not too disrupted by Mr. Waterman outside. How very good. I know.